He's won the Masters 3 times, the British Open 3 times, and he wins our hearts every weekend. And he's doing golf for CBS Sports. Nick Faldo, the lead analyst who joins us. Nick, how are you? Oh, look at you! You got some
Can
things.
you see I'm making. Seriously, I can't hold a candle to your setup on your desk. But how are you, my friend?
What do you have? You got your Christmas ornaments here? Are you a puppeteer?
These are the gnomes. These are the most highly, after the green jacket, these come a very close second. These are the most highly prized thing. I only got started the collection last year with this fella because I did a Christmas with, which I assume we hope will be the only ever Christmas gnome ever. So he's worth a fortune.
I like how Nick forgot where his green jackets were yesterday when Jim Nance was asking. So you said, your trophies. I got one in London, and yes, I don't know. Do I have 2 in London? I'm like, really? You don't know where your trophies are?
No, I do have one in Florida, and I actually, it's kind of, I don't make a big fuss, but I can walk up past it every single day on the way to the kitchen and have a look at it, and it's just. And there's the odd claret jug, just lying around next to the wine bottles, So it's, hey, I just like to gently remind myself and anybody who comes in the front door who I was.
Do you get 3 green jackets or just 1? Because
no, technically 1.
Okay.
But as I said, I've become a little plumper over the years, and the funny thing was, I thought I would try to bring a bit of European style, Italian tailoring. So I said, any chance I could have a 2-button one, but they did a 3-button, of course, and all they did was lengthen the lapel, and it's still got a buttonhole in it, so it didn't really work. And my one I wore this year for Champions Dinner was a little tight, so I might have to put I think it's because I've been exercising. So I might have to put an order in one a smidgen bigger. Might be nice. Yeah.
What would you shoot on the course if you played it today?
I couldn't break 80 out there. I'd shoot 40 over. I mean, how Mr. Langer shot 4 under, beats Tiger, plays Bryson and beats him. I mean, he can't hit it 250 off the tee. Bryson's hitting it 350. And Berner's going in with 3 woods and he misses a green and he hits a funky chip and he holds the putt. I mean, he is phenomenal. I mean, he needs to do a mental book, the psychology, because he is amazingly powerful to do that. That is some achievement. I wouldn't even go out there. I would absolutely embarrass myself and hate it, and so I'm quite happy sitting in my little 18th town. It's a lot easier.
Dustin, that performance this weekend, could he have done the same thing back in April, given the normal conditions in April as opposed to November?
No, exactly. They're going to have to put a little asterisk to that one because having soft greens, those first 2 days, there's many hole locations where the players would pull it, especially down that 6th hole. They would pull it, it would land on the left edge of the green and just plug and stay there. Well, if you hit that pull under normal greens, that would be one big bounce. You'd be in the bushes. You would, at best, you'd take a 5 if you hit a shot like that. That's, I talk so much about, hitting the right shot in the right place. So if you decided to hit a fader into a certain spot, you better do it. If you pull it and land it on the wrong spot, off she goes, and you're usually topside in an absolute mess. So, there's no way 20 under, absolutely no way. Firm, once you get the greens firm, it's a completely different strategy.
If Bryson DeChambeau came to you and said, what do you suggest? What did you see?
Yeah, I would say it's the intensity of the preparation. As we say, less is more, isn't it? Get organized. I mean, I spent a lot of time with him on the range. I like the guy. But there's so much going on. I mean, he was chopping and changing. He's got 4 shafts, 6 heads just for his driver. One of the grips on his irons wasn't secure. It was moving. That's got to be. I'd have a kitten if that was me in my day. Everything You wanted everything organized. So nothing's new. When you go play majors, why not bring all your old stuff? Everybody gives you brand new clothing and shoes and stuff, and that may not quite fit quite right. So why mess with that? I used to say, no, I'm coming with old shoes. All the gloves have been checked. You check your sweaters and everything beginning. You make sure everything fits and works. And so I was try and find a way for him to say, hey, that's his style, that's his mind. He wants to do all that. That's fine. He's different, which is great. But go and do all that preparation a couple of weeks before. So when you arrive there's the bag of clubs. Maybe he likes that putter. He doesn't even mess with the putter. And then just go out and quietly work on it and take everything down. That's old school. Sure, he's unique, but Jack did that and Tiger did that, and all the best seem to have done that, preparation. You'd rather come in quietly, and I'm sure, and Dustin does that. I chatted with Dustin a lot as well. And he's looking, he didn't want to get involved. I went down the range. He says, what's going on up there? So, he's smashing it. And he says, well, I can smash it with it. I've got a longer driver, but I don't want to use it. I've got a better dink it. He calls it dinking it when he just dinks that 320-yard drive left to right. So, I like that. Whether you call that old school, but I think a lot of athletes, especially individual sports, like to be calm and quiet before they go and do things.
You also have players who feed off the patrons or a gallery at other tournaments, but at the Masters, I don't know if that helped Dustin Johnson or mattered at all that there weren't any patrons, because he doesn't strike me as hey, like Tiger loved it. Certain guys embrace it. Phil loves it. I don't know if it helped Dustin that there weren't any patrons.
I think quite possibly. If there's one guy who out of the top players who's like, hey, you just say to him, this is the way it is. He goes, fine, and gets on with it. It's quite an enviable quality that he just can deal with things and let them go, just forget about it. And that's, as I said, that's probably the best line. This is what you got. It says, fine, I'm going to go and play. I'm playing good. I've got a chance of winning green. Inside their hearts, I can promise you it was pounding and breathing, as you could see. I mean, they're still playing for a green jacket, but, unfortunately, not having the patrons, it doesn't have that amazing buzz, electricity. And can you just imagine if Tiger, this was his 15th win and he was walking up the 18th to do the most amazing thing and win his 15th major, and there was nobody there. So boy, did he luck out.
Yeah.
So did we luck out, really, because we had the most amazing experience last year, and then obviously this one was quiet. It was a quiet walk, which I've had every week. I've always said that's the hardest thing to me. You're leading a tournament or a major, and you're on the tee on Sunday, and it's on the tee, Colin Morikawa, off you go, and you're like, okay, two people clap, and it's like, I'm playing for a major, and off I'm going. I think the guys have coped with it pretty well. I mean, I said, hey, hopefully this is just it, this one season, and you can say, hey, do you remember how crazy it was in 2020? We had nobody out there, but we're all back to normal. Maybe next year.
He's Nick Faldo, CBS Sports lead golf analyst. Have you ever been in a position that Tiger was? What are you drinking out of your Masters cup there?
It's some fancy fruit juice. Oh. It's too early in the morning. It's too early. I believe it's too early.
How many bottles of wine do you have in your wine cellar?
They're not that far away. Lindsay and I, we say literally every day, this is not a good day to give up drinking in this COVID world.
If I had a drinking golf tournament, who would win?
Yeah, we're tequila and whiskey lovers. Actually, we got into more American whiskeys this year as well. Good old Scotch, Irish whiskeys, and an American whiskey. So we've done a fine year of sampling, I have to say.
All right. Have you ever been in a situation where Tiger was on 12 yesterday?
Not quite like that. Not in that spotlight. No, not when it's, what on earth is going on? What is happening? But again, isn't that amazing? Last year that was the pivotal hole. And so are the golfing gods watching, saying, just to remind you, mate, that was really good last year, but just remember I'm the boss. I haven't been, but look, his poor guy is governed by his back. I mean, I don't know how much longer he can. He also must have amazing mental strength to go into each week, hoping, believing that the back will survive. I mean, but if it tightens up as it did, you can see how he's gingerly getting out that bunker. That it affects him, and he wants to play with these youngsters. And how on earth can you do it if your back isn't anything close to as good as it was in your prime?
Also, to manage a golf course, because he used to overpower, now he has to sort of manage it.
Yeah.
And he's got the acumen. He's obviously very bright when it comes to that. But sometimes your ego gets in the way. You're playing with somebody, they want to juice it up and hit it out there, and then he wants to crank it up there a little bit. It almost feels like that's who he's fighting. He's fighting himself. He's got the field and these young guys, but Tiger in his mind, can he manage a golf course and still win majors?
Well, bottom line is no, because look, there's just too many. He's competing. In his day, he was fending them off one at a time. Big Ernie else would have a run at him, or other guys, the Chris DeMarcos or the Bob Mays would have a go. But they were coming at him one at a time. Now there's 10s and 20s of guys, youngsters, Sung Jae Ims, or people you don't really know the names of if you're a non-golfer, but look how these guys play. So how do you get in the mix? Tiger played pretty darn good day one, considering he hasn't done a lot of golf. Nothing was really that good. He went out and played really smart, good golf, and you think, wow, that was really impressive. A 68, and you think, well, can he thread it around, keep doing that? But you're right. Then the youngsters, off they go, and then you start, maybe you force it, and the golf course did get a little bit more difficult. Got more difficult Saturday. Set it up quite tough. So that's when the kids get the advantage. They're there's too many of them really right now.
Do you miss playing?
Sure. I mean, as an athlete, gosh, I wish. I think that every athlete stops, don't they? I mean, Usain Bolt says, I can't run fast enough. The younger, or every sport an athlete eventually comes to. Sure, it hurts. It actually really hurts, because that was my love. That's, being a golfer, being a competitive golfer, believing you can go out there and win was what it was all about. And so, it hurt me for a long time. Actually, it hurt for about 5 years, to be honest, that I couldn't play golf like Nick Faldo could. And hey, now it's way on now. I mean, my wins are 30 years ago. So, but even now, our game is so, it drives us up the wall, because it dangles a carrot. And even now I'm thinking it's 63. Now, I go, and some days I can hit the ball on the range. I hit it great. And I'm like texting everybody, I'm going to go and play. I should go and play. And then I went back the next day and I hit it crap. And I came back and Lindsay goes, what's the matter? I said, I hit it crap today. And I said, but I'm not playing anything, but I'm upset.
How about if we did a skins game of golfers over 60? You and three others.
Well, exhibition golf, gosh, I was doing, as you know, we've done 101 Zoom calls in this COVID time. I was doing one the other day, obviously, my love for Sebi and what a great man he was. And I thought, this dear old Sebi, could you just imagine if Sebi and I could have partnered each other? We'd have taken on anybody. I threw out, I said, we'd take on Rory and Bryson. I mean, I bet Sebi could talk. Sebi could talk them out of it, and while he's annoying them, coughing on their backswing and what have you, maybe I'd make 18 pars, and and I'd sneak a part the last to beat them. I don't know.
Did Sebi used to jiggle change in his pocket during a backswing?
He never had money. No.
But he would cough in your backswing?
No, that's right. There was the famous cough, but that actually was, unfortunately, was a cough. He would still be coughing at 4 a.m, so, but it would, occasionally it'd be poor timing, as one would say, yes.
It was great over the weekend. Hope you're well. What are you doing the rest of the day?
Rest of the day, Do you know, I actually want to, after this, I got to go sort the garage out. Like we're moving out of this house. I've got to go and tidy up a little bit. But then, the golf course is only down the road, and I haven't hit any balls. That's how crazy it is. The clubs are in the car. I've got a couple of new irons I want to try. Don't know why, but I'm going to go out and hit some balls this afternoon. I need some fresh air. Sat in my tower all week. So I thought it'd be fun to go and hit some balls.
I love it. You're not cleaning your own garage.
Yeah. Man of the world.
Oh,
hey, there you go. Yes, he is. Oh, damn it. I guess I am.
I just heard somebody saying you are.
That's Lynn's. Yeah, that's my lady. So, why not? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 2 months. We've got, obviously, by the time we hit Christmas, then I said to Jim, and he didn't. I said, we're back on in 2 months' time. CBS will be back on West Coast Swing. And he went, wow, you're right.
Yeah.
So that'll go in a flash. And hey, I wish everybody well. Hope everybody's safe. Stay safe. Christmas. Enjoy yourself. You've got Thanksgiving, of course, America, and then Christmas. And then, we'll be back out. We'll be back out on tour. Hopefully all safe and sound.
Thanks again. Always great. And once again, we always appreciated your time at Pebble Beach. You got up, you let us off very early in the morning, and always brought great sense of humor.
Were you there this year? I had plans. For you.
Well, we ran into some managerial situations there. Yeah, something like that. Money involved in it. I'll try to rally. I hope to cross paths with you again with the show. But thank you again, Nick.
Yeah, good. Okay. Merry Christmas.
Merry
everybody.
Christmas. Thank you. That's the great Nick Faldo.